If you have ever walked out of a salon feeling older than when you walked in, I need you to hear this before you book another appointment. I'm Simone, and 6 months ago my hairstylist sat me down in her chair, looked at my hair for a long moment, and said something no one had ever said to me before. She told me I had been cutting my hair for my age instead of for my face. Not unkindly, just true. And then she gave me 5 specific haircuts, 5 not vague ideas, actual named cuts, and told me they would take years off without a single product, a single filter, or a single thing changing in my closet. I sat there half offended and half curious. I tried all 5 over the following months. She was right about every single one. And I promise you, number 3 is the one I argued with her about the longest, and the one I am now the most grateful she refused to back down on. Let's start with the one she said almost every woman over 60 is afraid of for no reason at all. Number 1, the long layered bob, cut just past the collarbone with soft face framing pieces at the front. My stylist called this the safest big change a woman can make, and she was right. She explained something I had never once thought about. Length past the shoulder pulls the whole face down with it, but this length sitting right at the collarbone with movement cut into it does the opposite. It lifts. The shorter framing pieces catch the light directly at the cheekbone and jaw, which is exactly where you want the eye pulled first in any photo or any room. I remember sitting in that chair thinking it looked almost too simple to matter, too close to what I already had to count as a real change. It mattered. People who had not complimented my hair in years suddenly did, at work, at church, in line at the grocery store. And not one of them could tell you why. That is the whole point of this cut. It does not look like a change. It looks like you just finally lit correctly. My stylist said this is the cut she gives women who are terrified of regret, because even at its most dramatic it never reads as drastic, it just reads as decided. Moving into number 2, we have curtain bangs, parted naturally down the middle, and blended into the sides instead of stopping in a hard line. My stylist told me the old rule that bangs age a mature face is completely backwards, and the only reason it feels true is that most bangs are cut blunt and heavy, which is exactly the wrong move for a face that has softened with time. Curtain bangs are cut long, soft, and swept, so they frame the face instead of covering it. They soften the forehead, they draw a natural frame around the eyes, and because they blend into the rest of the hair rather than stopping abruptly at the eyebrow, there is no harsh line anywhere near your face, no obvious seam where the change begins. She told me the number 1 thing women say to her after this cut is that people start looking them in the eye more, holding eye contact longer in conversation, leaning in instead of glancing away. I laughed when she said it. Then it happened to me more than once before I even understood why it was happening at all. She also told me something I still think about, that most women over 60 avoid bangs because of one bad cut decades ago, one heavy blunt fringe from a different era, and they never gave the softer version a real chance. Going straight into the hottest one given to me by my stylist, we have number 3, the blunt one-length bob, cut clean at the jaw with absolutely no layers. When she first said it out loud, I actually said no out loud in the chair, no hesitation, no polite pause. Every haircut I had gotten for 15 years had layers in it because I had been told, like most of us have, that layers soften an aging face and a blunt cut is too harsh, too severe, too much for a woman my age to attempt. My stylist did not argue with me. She simply asked me to trust her for one appointment, just one, and told me if I hated it we would soften it the following week. I agreed only to prove her wrong. She explained that a clean, sharp line at the jaw does something layers can never do. It creates one strong, deliberate shape instead of soft, scattered pieces, and a strong shape reads as intentional and confident in a way that soft layers never quite manage, no matter how well they are cut. Layers, she told me, can start to look thin and tired past 60, fading at the ends the way confidence sometimes does when nobody is paying attention. A blunt line looks chosen. It looks like a decision, not a slow fade into softness nobody asked for. When she turned that chair around, I did not recognize the woman looking back at me, and I mean that as the highest compliment I could possibly give her. I did not soften it the following week. This is the one I want you to actually try, not just watch me talk about. Now, if you have been wearing the exact same haircut for 10 years because changing it feels frightening, I want to talk directly to you for a second. I understand it completely. Change near your face feels bigger than change almost anywhere else, because your face is the one thing you cannot put away in a closet when you are done experimenting, the one thing you carry into every room whether you feel ready or not. But I promise you, the version of you that is afraid to change this is not protecting you. She is just tired. And she deserves a haircut that matches who you actually are right now, Not who you were the last time you felt brave enough to sit in that chair and ask for something different. Tell me in the comments which one of these 5 you are currently wearing, and whether a stylist has ever told you something this specific and this direct about your hair. I read every single comment. Next, number 4. The short textured pixie with a longer, side-swept fringe left deliberately imperfect. My stylist saved this one for after the bob, because she said it is the cut that scares women the most and rewards them the most in equal measure, no exceptions. A pixie this short only works, she explained, if it has texture and movement built into the cut itself, otherwise it can read as severe instead of confident, and that one distinction is the difference between a cut that ages you and a cut that erases years. The longer fringe swept to one side keeps softness exactly where your eyes need it, while the shortness everywhere else does something almost nobody talks about out loud. It makes your neck look longer, your jawline look sharper, and your whole presence read as lighter and faster and more alive in a room. The way you move through a doorway differently when your hair is not weighing you down. She told me women assume short hair ages them, that it reads as giving up rather than showing up. The truth, she said, is the exact opposite. Short hair with the right texture makes everything else about you look more awake. And there is a practical gift hidden inside this one too, she reminded me. Less time under the dryer, less product. Mornings that used to take 20 minutes now take 5. And finally, number 5, the voluminous curly shag. Cut in heavy layers from the crown all the way down, worn completely undone. This was the last cut she gave me, and she told me straight, this one is not for a woman who wants to look quiet, not for a woman who wants to blend into the back of a photo. The shag is built entirely around volume and movement, layered so aggressively that it creates lift right at the root and shape everywhere else, with nothing smoothed and nothing flattened and nothing tamed about it at all, not even on the days you wake up and do not touch it. She told me the biggest mistake women over 60 make with curls or texture is fighting it into submission instead of letting it lead, spending years trying to press their hair into someone else's idea of neat. This cut does the opposite. It lets the texture lead the whole conversation, decide the whole shape. And when hair has that much movement, your whole face reads as more expressive, more present, more like you have something to say before you have even said it. It is the boldest of the 5. And it was the one that surprised me most because I never once in 60 years thought of myself as a woman who could wear her hair loud. Turns out I could. Turns out I wanted to the whole time, I just needed someone to hand me permission. My stylist told me afterward that this cut gets the strongest reaction of all 5. Women either love it on sight or need a week to grow into loving it, and either way they never go back to flat. Here is what my stylist said to me the day I left that last appointment, and it is the truest thing anyone has told me in years. The right haircut is not vanity. It is the single fastest transformation a woman over 60 can make, faster than a new wardrobe, faster than anything else you could spend money on, and it costs you nothing but the courage to sit in the chair and say yes to something you have never tried before. If you have been holding on to the same hair out of fear instead of love, let this be the sign you have been waiting for. Book the appointment. Say the sentence you have been avoiding saying out loud. Trust the person whose job it is to see you clearly, even when you cannot yet see it yourself in the mirror. Next time, I am telling you about the one piece of jewelry my stylist told me to stop wearing the moment she saw it, and why she was right about that too. Until then, I'm Simone. Go be the woman who changes her mind.